Hey, you're watching Rapid MMA, and I'm Tyler. Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt for UFC 200. I'll say this right away, I'm picking Brock to win, but this pick is in no way a confident one. I'd rather not make a pick at all, but since everyone needs to hear one, there it is. The pick isn't as important as the insight, and I'll just provide my opinion in the several different ways I see this fight playing out. As always, leave a comment below with your perspective on how this fight plays out. Let's discuss the main talking points for this fight that I heard up to this point. First, the notion that Brock Lesnar can't take a punch and doesn't like to get hit. It's true Brock doesn't handle taking damage well, but he can take a punch. He's never been knocked out, but when he is damaged, it's kind of noticeable in his body language. Brock is durable though, but when a fighter gets in the pocket or clinch, they can usually do significant damage to him. Alistair, Kane, and Frank all had success in the clinch throwing knees. Alistair landed a good body kick from the outside too, but Brock can be a little trickier at range because of his fast hands and reach. And although he's not the most technical and his striking defense is lacking, it only takes one punch to damage his opponent's face. Hunt will want to be light on his feet to not only avoid the punches, but also the takedowns. Second point to discuss is the immediate reaction that Mark Hunt will walk off KO Lesnar. Now, this can't really be argued because it's a probability, but let us not forget that Lesnar is a freak of nature. He's very fast and he can be unpredictable. Will he come out crazy like he did against Cain Velasquez, or will he take a more calculated approach? Will Brock try to plow in for a double leg right away? It's hard to know what to expect from Brock, but if we learn anything about him over the years, it's expect the unexpected. The unknown variables are always on Brock's side, whether good or bad. So as I mentioned previously, Mark will want to be very reactive in this fight. Start with a good distance right away and see what Brock's approach will be. Punching combinations and at different levels. Don't stand right in front of him either. Mark is sometimes very agile, and other times he's flat-footed. Mark will definitely want to be agile against Brock Lesnar. Just like many of Hunt's fights, he needs to look for the uppercut, because Brock often dips down either to avoid punches or get in on a leg. Why do you think he gets tagged with knees so often in his fights? It's only a matter of time before Mark hurts Brock. Will it be a walk-off KO? Who knows, but Mark can do anything, and at his age, it seems like he's only getting stronger. Third point to discuss, Brock's wrestling and Mark Hunt's wrestling defense. Brock will be one of the better wrestlers Hunt has faced in a while. The unknown variable in this particular topic is Brock's speed. Will he be as quick as he was 5 years ago? One could only assume he won't be, but it'd be stupid to train for a lesser version of Brock. The whole drug testing thing comes into play here because we don't really know how long Brock has been training for a return fight. He could have been using PEDs, training hard, getting into fight shape, then loading up on EPO for recovery to get his body back to health. Wait for a little bit, sign a contract, and go back to light training and drills until UFC 200. Brock has been tested 5 times by USADA in a span of 2 weeks. So there's a real possibility Brock doesn't even make it to UFC 200 if he fails the drug test. For now, Brock is a clean fighter who is training for Mark Hunt after a 5-year layoff in a matter of a few weeks. Hunt needs to prepare for a tall, huge, fast, and strong wrestler that could have been juicing to the tits. We've seen Hunt climb back to his feet several times in the past when his opponents took him down, but I think he'll struggle a little more against someone like Brock. Brock has a smothering top game, and if he's in half guard, it may already be too late. Hunt does have a good hip escape for a big man though. However, avoiding the ground altogether would be ideal. If Brock takes Hunt down, it won't be like when Kane was taken down for 2 seconds. Now to summarize and wrap up this video, Mark Hunt has faced big guys his entire career. He used to struggle against grapplers, but not as much as he used to. Then again, like I said before, he really hasn't fought anyone who is an excellent grappler. Frank Mir didn't try to grapple with Hunt. Bigfoot Silva was KO'd right away. Fabricio Verdum did a flying knee and took Hunt out. JDS is the striker. Stefan Struve toppled like Jenga blocks. Ben Rothwell stalked forward like a zombie and couldn't mount any successful attacks against Hunt. Czech Congo is a kickboxer. Roy Nelson is strayed from his grappling and he was KO'd anyway. The only real grapplers he fought was the aforementioned Ben Rothwell, but this was before his hot streak, and he makes questionable decisions during fights. He could hardly hold Hunt down, and then got his face beat in on the feet. Chris Tuchscherer was a wrestler and former training partner of Lesnar, but he was very much out of shape, had very amateur striking and poor cardio. Stipe was probably the most successful against Hunt, getting 6 takedowns and landing over 50 strikes on the ground. The facts are the facts. Mark Hunt has an issue with the ground game. Out of his 10 losses, 6 of them are by submission. The difference now is Hunt is leaner, he's a better grappler than he was when he was last submitted, and he's an active fighter. Unfortunately, this is a short notice fight, and he doesn't have much time to prepare. This fight is like a box of chocolates. We really don't know what we're going to get. Will it be a first round KO? Who will get the KO? Will Hunt be able to defend the takedowns? If he can't, will he be able to avoid the submissions or ground and pound? Can he get back to his feet? Will Brock lay on Mark Hunt for 3 rounds? In my opinion, the safest pick would be Mark Hunt, simply because we know more about him. He's an active fighter, has been doing okay against tough opponents. He absolutely has a striking advantage and could easily bust Lesnar up. The biggest question for me is if he's ready to face a high caliber grappler again, and I'm not so sure. Mark Hunt can be really inconsistent. The best fight we can draw upon for a reference is Mark Hunt's fight against Ben Rothwell. Rothwell's striking wasn't that good, and Hunt was able to stuff a majority of his takedowns. I think Rothwell got like 2-3 takedowns out of 14. Remember though, Lesnar is much more athletic and is likely a much better grappler. Since I live in Minneapolis, I'm a little partial to Brock Lesnar. He's an entertaining fighter. It's great to see him back, even if it's for one fight presumably. His last performances, they were disappointing, but it was kind of expected. In my opinion, this matchup is a little more ideal for Brock as opposed to someone like Alistair or Cain Velasquez. He has a real chance in this fight, but if he can't win it by submission or TKO in the first round, then I really see him struggling later in the fight. Given Mark Hunt's history of being unsuccessful against grapplers in the past, I'm siding with Lesnar on this one to win by first round submission. For anyone to say they're confident in any particular scenario, it would be a flat out lie. There's no consistency in this fight. First round knockouts are most common in heavyweight fights, and Hunt just happens to be very good at doing just that. I think most people will and should choose Mark Hunt to win by first round KO, but I'm going with Brock for first round submission for the fun of it, and plus it's a real possibility. Just as it is Mark Hunt wins via first round knockout, just as it is Brock Lesnar wins via first round knockout. Fast hands, man. Hopefully the fight doesn't suck. That's the most important thing. Thank you for watching Rapid MMA. Please leave your thoughts and picks below and subscribe for more UFC 200 breakdowns.